Imagine one of them's just like, what's your favourite colour? Like,
Exactly. What did you think of my outfit on this day? Yeah.
do you like Juicy Couture? No, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so question number 1. What's a lesson that you learnt the hard way about reliability and professionalism within peers?
Ooh. Okay. One thing that springs to mind is that so I had this theatre company, Sisters Grimm, with my bestie Declan,
Mm-hmm.
and we had been making shows already by this stage, I think for like over 8 years, let's say. And then we finally got an opportunity to have like a bigger cast in a show that we got government funding for, and so everyone was getting paid. It was going to be on at the MTC. It felt like all the stakes had suddenly just gotten a lot bigger very quickly. And we had a performer who was really talented, but she would often just cancel on rehearsal, or like wouldn't turn up on time, or would say like, I have to leave the state now, I've got to go be with family. And there was cultural stuff involved. Like this was like a person from a different culture, and so it was like trying to really understand that. But what I learned was that if you make too many exceptions for any one person in a large group, then it makes the rest of the group resent the fact that they are being held to a different standard.
Right.
And so it was one of the most uncomfortable, it was the only time me and Declan ever had a fight, is that I said, like, I think you need to, because he was a director.
Yeah.
I was like, I think you need to fire that actor because I think it's actually poisoning the rest of the room. And we also can't rehearse properly with someone who's only here half the time. And then when they do show up, they don't really remember what we did the time before.
Yeah.
And it's still entertaining and great what they're doing, but it means that the show is all about their performance and no one else's. Like, no one else can build a performance because they have no idea what this person's going to do.
Yeah.
So that was sort of like a good lesson in that, like, it's really good to be mindful. It's really good to be culturally aware. It's really good to, like, absolutely be understanding, but at some point you have to like enforce a basic agreement about that we are all going to be here, we are all committing to this, and we're going to do these times.
Like it's everyone's
very
time.
Hard. Yeah, it's everyone's time. Like I've always been a very early person. I'm like crazy worried about keeping anyone waiting, or like I never want to be the problem. And so I've never been that, but dealing with someone who didn't.
So it's never been a problem for me.
Yeah, but what's been a problem is understanding other people have different relationships to all of that, and working out the right time to enforce those boundaries is really tricky, especially because, you know, like any group work, you actually do like each other and you're relying on each other. And even though there was some money, it wasn't like everyone was rolling in it. So like everyone is doing to some extent a favour, and that can make it really tricky when there's no money on the table to enforce like
work.
That is to enforce professionalism when there's no money. You know, you don't want. I get really resentful when people act like they're donating their time and therefore they don't have to have any standards. No, there's no point in. You know, we're all donating our time to this, but we all want it to be really great, right? So we all have to work really hard. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's so interesting.
It's a long answer. I'm a talker.
No, that was good though. I liked it. It's perfect for me.
Are you recording this or anything? Or transcribing?
I'm like kind of transcribing it, but
great.
I hope that's okay. Everything you say will be used against you.
Yeah, you can record it. Do you want me to record it and send you the recording?
No, it's okay. I've got my computer here. I can do that.
Okay, great.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
It's all right.
What about question number 2, how do referrals actually happen for you? Like, walk me through one real example from start to finish, if you can.
Ooh. Yes. It's an interesting question because I don't know. I don't know if I've been referred to things. Well, one time I did the way I met Andrea was we were both on a web series, and I think I got into that web series because another actor on that show was a friend of mine, and he had said, "Oh, you should get Ash in for this. I think he'd be really good for it." Because there was a bit of improv, and it was like about there had to be queer actors and stuff, and that was a time where it directly worked. Like someone recommended me, I then had to go in an audition, and it happens all the time in theatre, and because I've been able to be on both sides of casting, I see that, like, you know, theatre can be very
harsh.
Essentially, it's very harsh, yes, but also like people I used to think it was just very cliquey, and if you weren't someone's friend, there was no way they were going to hire you. And the parts of that are definitely true. But the clickiness doesn't come from like a bad place. It comes from people having like that bad experience I just talked about, where it's like they don't want to risk having a problem in the room, and they've already worked with someone and had a good time. And so they'd rather go with what they know, and they share a language with them, and they can rely on them. So a lot of theatre work actually comes from you being at least recommended or vetted in some way that, like, no, that's a professional person. They will absolutely do the job. Like, and then that's just to get the audition.
Yeah.
So that doesn't even mean they're just like directly offering you something. But I think that's a real thing. And also, like, as someone who hires people for things, I always ask around first.
Yeah.
Before I even meet with the person, I'll be like, hey, I know you worked with this person. What was your experience like? And was there anything you wish you'd been aware of? Or yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna move on, but sorry, that was a great answer though.
It's all right. You don't actually thank you. I'm very capable.
Okay, who are key decision makers in your world right now? Like, how did you figure out who matters?
Oh. I mean, it's a complicated answer because ultimately I've learned that, like, I am the key driver.
The decider.
In my career. Yeah, I am the decider. I no one will ever care as much as you do about your career, your work. Like, they're all worried about their career and their work. So, like, I have agents and I have people that are trying to get me work and negotiating for me, and I have friends in the business who can, like, hire me or fire me. But ultimately, like, I'm very self-motivated, and I would rather do something I care about than something that would be, like, financially great but nothing that I'm interested in. Do you know what I mean? So I think the ultimate decision maker is always me. I have been offered work and said no to things. I have, just because I'm like, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
100%. And I don't want people to see me in that way. I don't want to be thought of as the kind of person that does that work.
Yeah.
Like, and all of that every time has to be reconsidered. Like,
yeah.
At the moment I've got a job that might come through and I'm like, oh God, it's not really like my dream. There are bits of it that'll be fun, but this is a full year of work and I really need to consider that.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a big decision I have to think about. And they haven't even offered me an audition. They haven't even offered me the part or anything, but I'm like considering it that much. So
no, but it's good to consider, like, take every factor in, right? Like,
yes. And then in terms of other people whose decisions really matter to me, it's usually like artistic directors of the state theatre companies, because that's where I tend to get more of my playwriting work, as well as what I get who casts me. So, like, they are people that I have to, like, just be nice to.
Yeah.
Just, like, make sure I don't talk too much smack about them while they're in the room.
Yeah. It's the way to go.
Because the TV people in that aspect of my career are just in a whole different lane of stuff.
Yeah.
They, like, that's a whole ecology I don't know so well still. And it feels like a lot more out of your control anyway.
But you're a TV star now. I've seen the show.
I am. But it's like, I don't have those deep connections. And the business feels a lot bigger and more scattered than theatre.
Right.
In theatre, like, everyone does kind of know each other after a certain amount of time. Whereas in TV, there's just they're constantly looking for new stuff. So there's different power players coming all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what assets do you keep ready for pitching, and how do you decide what to update first?
Ooh. I guess, like, in terms of, like, assets that people can go look at, I have, like, a website now. I have my showcast profile as an actor. I have an agency that represents me. And we update my headshot every couple of years. And I always update my website. If I make content, I make sure I'm sharing it. I share on social media and stuff. But in terms of, like, other assets that... I don't know. I think, like, a lot of the assets are actually, like, relationships. I think it all comes down to, like, relationships.
Yeah.
So I make sure I, like, go to see shows. I, like, say hi to people. If I have work on, I make sure I invite everyone.
Yeah.
So it's just, like, making sure that you're always part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Because that idea of refreshing is really important, but I don't think it's just about like websites or show reels or like with
It's
the TV
keeping
show
the connection.
With the TV show, I made sure, like I said to my agents, we should get some scenes from this immediately, and we should put that on my show reel and make a whole new show reel. And so I just did that. So that was really good. But I don't know if the hard thing with these assets is like, I don't know if any of it matters. Like, I don't know who's looking at this show reel, but you have to invest in that stuff on the chance that someone will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, if you had to describe your offer in like one sentence to like a booker or producer, what is it, and has it changed much over the years?
I don't think it has changed that much. I would say, like, if I'm meeting with a theatre company, I will say, like, what I offer is, like, I'm a fresh comedic voice that knows a lot, that, like, knows what people want out of theatre.
Yeah.
And I can write you a show that the smart people will enjoy and the not-so-theatre literate will enjoy. I'm making, like, work that's really populist and, like, doesn't require a huge level of understanding. I want it to be like more accessible. I make accessible, funny, left of center work.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. That's so good. Okay. And
if I was like a comedian or whatever, I would say, like when I do my solo shows in smaller theaters and venues, I say like, yeah, I do like autobiographical, funny, moving work.
Yeah.
It is always surprising. Yeah.
Because then that draws the audience in, right? Like.
Yeah. And it's just like, this is the kind of thing, and, you know, in most things you have to have something to compare to or comps, you know, so I would say, like, you know, it's kind of in the vein of, like, somewhere between, like, Sandra Bernhard and Reg Livermore and, like, Spalding Gray.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's sort of that.
Yeah, interesting.
Of course, none of those references are Australian. So
hey, that's
the
okay.
Right people know.
That's true. Speaking of audience, by the way, what do you think your audience is actually trusting you with? Like, and how do you earn that trust?
Oh, great question. I think the audience are just, on a basic level, I think the audience are trusting you with their time, and they've paid to be there. And I think audiences come to see something I've done. They are trusting that they are going to have a laugh and have a think.
Yeah.
And that it's not going to be something that will go over their head, and that it's going to be something they can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Usually that it'll be funny.
Fingers crossed, 99.
Yeah.
No. Okay, well, how do you convert casual viewers into, like, repeat fans? And, like, what are your strongest pathways for that?
Well, I think early on in my career, I was like, quantity method. So I was like, do as much as you can, as often as you can. I think then people see that you're really serious about it, and if they like it, they have lots of opportunities to bring their friends or to see more of what you do.
Yeah.
And then I think you get to a point, mine was about 10 or 15 years in, where it's like, now it's about like, you're only going to see me maybe like twice or 3 times a year, but it will be in kind of bigger stuff. And that's also just the nature of like, I need to be paid properly now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to do 1 million shows for free.
Yeah.
But I think early on, the way to build an audience is to be out with them as much as possible.
Yeah. So you
like
keep gaining those opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was really big into writing my own stuff, doing my own stuff. I hated waiting for the phone. I never have been that kind of person. So I would just rather be out. Also because, like, just as a jealous, petty gay Scorpio, I was just like seeing things and going, I could do that. Why aren't I doing that? So I did it. Yeah.
Well, that's the way to go, surely.
Yeah, spite.
Yeah. Okay, well, how did you decide what to share publicly versus what to keep private, especially when personal material is part of your comedy?
I think that's one of your questions, by the way. It's a constantly evolving line. It's really hard. Like, there's a play I want to write sort of inspired by my family, but it's not going to be particularly, like, up and fun. And so I don't feel like it's, you know, it would feel exposing to some members of my family, so I don't want to do that to them. I never want to do anything that incriminates anyone else or would make anyone else feel uncomfortable. But I have a much higher threshold for myself.
Yeah.
Where, like, I'm very comfortable sharing a lot. That's just naturally who I am.
Mm.
So, and if I have included anything that I want to check with someone, I do check with them.
Yeah.
I will, like, go, here's the script, I want you to look over it, and you just let me know if there's anything that you're not comfortable with. And I always make sure that in every story, I am usually the villain or the problem or the idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never trying to make anyone else look terrible. You know, I might make people look strange or singular or, like, you know, talking about my sister's love of reptiles and how her, like, shingleback lizard has tuberculosis or whatever. Like, it's just a kooky thing, but it's not mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so always trying to come from a place of love too.
Right. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense because that's something I've struggled with as well.
Yeah. And then you got to check in with, like, my mum did not care what I said about her. The more that I said she was like a monstrous chain-smoking bitch, the more she loved it. That's how she wanted to be perceived. Like, it was like, she loved that.
Mm.
She wanted to be a larger-than-life character, and she was. So that was, like, respectful in a way. Like, I would think with your mother, she would actually find that really funny.
Yeah, she does love it.
She's got a really good sense of humour too. So it depends on the person. Some people can be the joke, and some people really can't.
Definitely. I've got 2 questions left. Thank you so much.
Right.
Has there ever been a moment where you've made something and it didn't land how you thought it would? Did you change it after that, if anything?
That's another great question. I've tried things out and gone, like, but usually more on, like, scratch nights or just, like, nights that are a bit looser by nature.
Mm-hmm.
That are kind of like, they're experimental. So I tried something going, oh, that didn't really work, but maybe there's a seed of that I can use in something else. Or it's like, well, that wasn't great, and I'm glad I got that out of my system because I'd been wondering about that for ages. But usually by the time I'm putting something in front of people, I've thought about it a fair bit, even if it is a quick thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, once I've made a full show, no, I'm pretty, like, determined by that point that it's like it's almost gotten past, I really care about the audience, and then once the show is made, I'm like, well, whether they like it or not is so out of my hands now that I'll, like, listen to any feedback if they're like, I just got really confused or lost. But other than that, if it's about just taste, or, like, I didn't like that, I'm like, well, that's just, you know, not everyone's going to like everything.
Yeah.
You just got to keep going. Yeah.
Like, it's just not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I really do consider the audience a lot. I have a real bee in my bonnet about any artist that, like, doesn't respect the time and energy and effort that an audience makes to even just get into this space to pay to watch you do what you want to do. And I get really annoyed when people don't seem to care about those people. I really want those people to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm usually, like, pretty on the money about that. I've had a lot of experience with audiences to work out what they like and what I'm offering them and how to give it to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great answer. Thank you. Okay, final question is super basic, but I would love to know. If someone found your work for the first time today, like just a complete, like, random, what would you want them to see first and why?
Ooh. My head immediately goes to something from Sisters Green because I'm so proud of all that work, even though I've made tons of stuff on my own and other stuff. I think Calpurnia Descending is a play that we made, and it used a lot of video, and it was really clever and really fucked up, and I think really sums up a lot of, like, what I was interested in. It's like a riff on a movie genre. It's sort of like a backstage melodrama type thing, like an All About Eve or Sunset Boulevard. And it's me and Paul Capsis, who is one of my heroes. And it's really silly, really clever, and really adventurous. So I think that's a great mix.
Definitely.
There are other shows that probably got more laughs and other shows that mean more to me personally, but, like, that one I just think is a great one.
Well, that would get in all types, wouldn't it?
Yes. I think it really did. It did. It had sold well, and yeah, people talk about that show a bit to me.
Great.
But also, yeah, I love all of them. I really do. Like, I spend so much time on these shows that even if they're not loved by other people, I usually am pretty obsessed with them.
I
There's
mean,
no
that's the way
show
to
that
go.
I've made that I'm like just absolutely embarrassed by. There are things, of course, I would change now, but I'm really proud of all the work I've done.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Whether I should be or not, I don't know.
Well, thank you so much, Ash. That's all the questions
you're
I
so
have.
welcome. Which were your two?
So that the one you guessed, and then if something didn't land, they were my two.
Yes. Yeah. Very good questions.
Thank
Very,
you,
very good
thank
questions.
you.
I hope it's useful. I know a lot of my answers were sort of more about theatre, but I think it's relevant to what you do as well.
Well, yeah.
You do stand up, but you also do storytelling, and you also, it's not just gag.
And from what I've seen of what you perform as well, it's something I really value and enjoy watching. So even like if it wasn't something that I did, it's still something I care about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do have a question. Are you teaching any classes this trimester?
I am. I'm teaching. I was teaching comedy genres and intercultural histories of comedy, and now I'm just on intercultural histories for the rest of the tri.
You are really good at that one, though.
Oh, I love that one.
That was my favourite class.
Talking about burble. Burble. Yes, so I'm doing that, which I'm loving, but the class sizes are just, the way the intake worked is that I had in comedy genres just one person, Cassius.
What?
And then in intercultural histories, I only have Jacob and Chris.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's very crazy to be in such a,
Jacob's
so
great,
small.
though.
Love Jacob. Chris is a kooky unit, but he's a lovely guy.
That's so good. Oh, that's so crazy. I thought you would have gotten one of the new I thought they would have done it like get the new students in with the old students like they did for when I did intercultural.
Yeah, no, they haven't. It's very weird.
It's so odd.
Yeah. Who knows? I think the whole course, I think it could all change.
Yeah, I feel like the setup of it kind of needs to, in a sense.
And I feel like a lot of the performing arts people would actually really enjoy a lot of the comedy stuff.
Well, definitely. Even of my friends that I've spoken to, they're like that sounds like so much fun. Like,
I know. And if they could set it up so that you can just do way more choose your electives and really pick and mix your own course, that would be great.
Literally. Because I think they had the comedy as an elective, or like one of the comedy classes as an elective, but it just like, it worked a bit and then it didn't work. Like,
yes.
Interesting. But anyway, sorry. Thank you so much. I'll let you go. I'll let you leave.
I'll talk to you later.
Yes, can we talk? Can we get a coffee soon?
I'd love that, mate. Whenever you want.
Oh my god, love it. Okay, I hope you have a fantastic day.
I will.
Thank you so much again. I'm going to change everything you said to fit. No, kidding. Alright, thank you, Ash. You have the best one.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye. I love him. It's my king.